Hi, and welcome to Cheesy Endings. Today I went to see The Grandmaster, which is the latest film by Wong Kar Wai. It's the story of the legendary Ip Man, the martial arts master. The film spans a long period from the 1920s to the 1950s, and it is quite a long film itself at 2 hours and 10 minutes. But the first thing I wanted to say was that I thought it was beautiful. I think that's what a lot of people are saying about this film right now. But the way it was shot, the director uses reflections of faces, and I think about maybe a third of the film was in slow motion. There were a few fight scenes in the rain and the snow, and these the way they were choreographed was beautiful, and just to watch that on its own was just fantastic. But talking about the story, I think because the original version of this film I believe was 4 hours long, there are really quite some gaps in this film, and the story just jumps and jumps. We kind of lose sight of the characters' lives in a way, but the story also, its pacing is quite off. We have scenes that are very slow, and then we kind of jump, and the scenes are very fast paced and things, and we jump to another decade and we jump back. I do think that a lot was cut out of this film, basically. Even though the film itself is beautiful, I think the way that the story is told is less strong. What is interesting to see in this film is that there are different styles of martial arts shown at the same time, which kind of adds to the excitement, I suppose. Something I noticed while I was watching it was that the world that is inside the film is very small, and later on in the film we start to explore different locations, but the first maybe hour of the film was set in a very small location, and a lot of it was indoors as well. We saw a lot of action, and I kind of realised we hadn't really seen outdoors yet, and then we start to travel elsewhere, but at the beginning it's a very small world. I think an interesting point about this film is how we started off narrating the story of Ip Man. He is supposed to be the main character in the film, but we end up with the character of Gong Er, who is another martial arts master. We continue with her story later on in the film. We eventually come back to Ip Man, and these two stories are of course related very closely. And Zhang, the actress, she's fantastic in this film, and the way she creates this kind of character, she's quite hot-headed, but she's also rather aloof, and the way she composes herself during this film and the way she acts is fantastic, and for me she steals the film. I have to be honest, I don't know much of the story of Ip Man. I went into this film not knowing much at all, but I do think that if you're after a beautiful film and you just want to enjoy beautifully choreographed martial arts and also just some scenery and the costumes are exquisite, then I do think that this film is for you. As far as I'm aware, people who were looking for something historically accurate or something loyal to Ip Man's story will feel disappointed by this film, and I do think that in that respect it's less for you. Overall, I'm gonna give this a 4 slices of cheese out of 5 because I do think that this was a beautiful film. There is some issues with the film, with pacing and with the storyline and with characters getting lost, that we just almost never see them again, and we come back later to finish that story up. But yeah, there was a bit that was probably forgotten there. But yeah, overall, if you're looking for a beautiful film like I was, then I think you'll enjoy it. See you soon, guys. Bye.